Vanu's sovereignty has taken the facility.
Hey guys, this is Matthias, and what you see here is a little bit of gameplay from the game Planetside 2. This is a game that was released in November 2012 by Daybreak Game Company, which at the time was called Sony Online Entertainment, because they were owned by Sony. And I have to admit, I actually am struggling a bit trying to get used to the name Daybreak Game Company. Anyway, I started playing this game in open beta, and for the ones of you who didn't know it, this game is made on the same engine as H1Z1. I believe that almost everyone that works on H1Z1 used to actually work with Planetside 2, so it's pretty safe to say that they have quite some experience with this game engine. It's called the Forge Light engine. And the way that progress is happening in H1Z1 is a lot faster than the way I experienced it in Planetside 2, but there are also some similarities with the negative things about the two games when it comes to new content. And to me the most frustrating thing is the amount of new bugs that seems to happen with basically every patch. Now a lot of players will point out that H1Z1 is in alpha, and the kind of bugs and frustration that we've experienced with the game so far is something that we can just expect as long as we play in early access. But if that was so, then those problems would have been long gone in Planetside 2. However, that is not the case. Now in this video I will show you some TR gameplay, the Terran Republic. As much as I play all three empires, the Terran Republic is my main empire. So now, since I've been away from Planetside 2 quite a lot the last 3 months, I'm struggling quite a lot with my infantry gameplay, and it's especially at ranges, I would say, past 30 meters. At close range, switching from one game to another doesn't have the same kind of effect, but at longer range, which is what I used to specialize in, the way that you have to control recoil and the way that you have to handle burst fire and some such, as well as the fact that, you know, your model is going to be based on a very few pixels compared to for close range players. That's one of the reasons why I try to stick with one game at a time. I don't really like to switch between games all that much. And as much as H1Z1 and Planetside 2 are made by the same developers, on the same engine, it's an MMO on a very large map, there are some very big differences between these games, and watching Planetside 2, you'll probably see the potential that H1Z1 has in the future. Now the class I'm playing is called the Light Assault. You also have access to engineers, medics, heavy assaults, and infiltrators. And these are the main infantry classes that doesn't require any resources to spawn. Now for infantry players you also have access to the max suit, and aside from that you have tanks and aircrafts. And I'll show you some flying later on in this video as well. And I have to say that flying has been one of my biggest passions in Planetside 2 the last couple of years. Now, one of the standard features that you have in a lot of shooters nowadays is spotting. This is also in Planetside 2, and what you see me doing here is that I'm kind of spamming Q in order to spot some of my enemies through the leaves of the trees here. So despite the fact that I'm struggling quite a bit now with the infantry gameplay in Planetside 2, I was able to get 16 kills there until I ran out of ammo and got team killed by, yeah, that's actually one of those maxes there, and I'm not blaming him for it. Shit like this just happens. When friendly fire is on, mistakes will be made, and yeah, if you're used to like Battlefield or something where friendly fire is off, this is something that you might want to be prepared for if you try this game out. So now let me continue with the Empire-specific fighter of the Terran Republic. It's called the Mosquito. Here I'm using the rocket pods, so the Hellfire rocket pods, and the Banshee. This is a pure and air-to-ground setup.
Generator stabilized. Destroyed.
Now, flying in Planetside 2, at least flying these fighters, is a rather unique experience. At least I have never seen any game where you can bring your experience with you to Planetside 2. You just have to learn from scratch. And it can take some time, it can be quite frustrating. However, there are plenty of tutorials that will help you out if you want to get into this. I have made several myself, and whatever is being showcased in these tutorials is something that you can practice in the virtual reality area. It's a training area where you have unlimited access to whatever you want to try out. Any vehicle, any weapon, any upgrade. Now I'll switch up to a completely different loadout. This loadout is designed for air-to-air. I'm using the default nose gun, which is the M80 Needler. The upgrades are ammo capacity, magazine size, and thermal vision. And aside from a secondary weapon, I'm using the external afterburners. And choosing the external afterburners instead of a secondary weapon will give you a lot more speed and maneuverability.
Conglomerate Reaver spotted. New site identified. Enemy site spotted. Got a visual on a hostile Reaver. Got a visual on a hostile Reaver. Conglomerate Reaver spotted. Eyes on a VS site. Got a visual on a hostile Reaver. Conglomerate Reaver spotted. Spotted an enemy transport.